5 silent signs that the real danger might be sitting right beside you. It won't scream. It won't come with a siren. Betrayal rarely knocks. It smiles. It listens. It shares stories. It pretends to care. And while you're laughing with it, it's studying how to break you. But if you've been hurt before, truly hurt, you'll start to notice the quiet clues. Not everyone will see them, but you will. Today, we uncover 5 chilling signs that evil isn't a stranger. It's familiar. Before we dive in, tell me in the comments, which country are you watching this video from? 1. They derive strength from your weakness. They won't scream for control. They'll smile through it. These people find their power not in lifting others, but in watching them stay small. When you're broken, they're present. When you fail, they're close, not out of love, but because your wounds feed their worth. They offer help, but it's never free. The kindness comes with quiet strings, and every time you try to rise, they remind you of who picked you up, so you never forget your place beneath them. They don't applaud your healing, they fear it, because the moment you no longer need them, they lose their grip. Epictetus said that real strength is found in freedom, not domination. But freedom terrifies the corrupt because it threatens the little kingdom they've built around your pain. So if someone keeps pulling you back into old memories, old mistakes, old shame, don't be fooled. They're not helping you rise. They're anchoring you to stay. 2, they pretend to care, but their silence screams. Not all silence is peaceful. Some silence carries knives behind a smile. These people won't argue, won't shout, won't even speak their discomfort because honesty threatens their mask. Instead, they choose absence. They vanish when you're at your best and stay eerily quiet when you're breaking. They see your pain, but choose not to reach out. Not because they're helpless, but because your struggle soothes something dark inside them. Seneca once said, "He who does wrong is more wretched than he who suffers it." But what about the ones who no longer feel that wretchedness? The ones who've grown numb to their own evil? That's who you're dealing with. If someone is always missing when you rise and strangely silent when you fall, they're not neutral. They're rooting for your collapse. And someone who cannot be happy for you will never be truly happy with you. 3, they imitate empathy but lack conscience. Be careful around those who've mastered the performance of emotion. They cry on cue. They speak softly, nod at the right moments, even say all the right words, but none of it touches their soul. Their compassion is rehearsed. Their kindness is staged. When no one's watching, the mask slips, and all that remains is cold calculation. They don't stay to love you. They stay to study you. Every secret you share, every tear you show, it becomes part of a play they're scripting behind your back. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury, and that's where your strength lies. Don't become what wounded you. Don't match their venom. Just see it clearly, because once you recognize false empathy, it loses its power. These people aren't here to heal you. They're here to harvest your vulnerability. And when that truth becomes loud enough in your soul, it's time to stop explaining, stop defending, just awaken and walk away. 4, they sabotage you with praise. Not every compliment is meant to uplift you. Sometimes praise is poison wrapped in perfume. They say, "You're too good for this," or "You're too talented to ever lose," or "You're far too noble to walk away." And on the surface, it feels like admiration. But look deeper. Their words don't lift you. They trap you. They use flattery like shackles, keeping you frozen in place while they cheer from the crowd. You're not being honored. You're being handled. This isn't support, it's strategy. As Epictetus warned, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid, because the moment you stop needing their approval, you become untouchable. And nothing terrifies a manipulator more than a man who no longer needs to be clapped for. 5. They pretend to be a victim while quietly making you one. Sometimes the loudest cries come from the hands that cause the wounds. They don't raise their voice in rage. They tremble in false fragility, and while you're busy comforting them, they're rewriting the story, casting you as the villain. They'll twist your strength into insensitivity, your honesty into cruelty, your silence into neglect. They play delicate because they know good people rush to protect what looks broken. But what if the cracks are painted on? Seneca said, "The first step toward virtue is to avoid self-deception, and that includes not being deceived by the masks others wear. Their suffering is not always real, it's rehearsed. Their pain, performed. Your empathy, it's the script they feed on. This is the most dangerous form of evil, not loud, not violent, but manipulative in its softness. The Stoic doesn't shut down his heart. He opened his eyes. He doesn't fight the actor. He simply exits the play. 6. They are always present, but never supportive. These are the people who smile in your sunlight, but disappear when the storm hits. They never speak against you, but they never speak for you either. You'll find them in every room where you succeed, but never in the places where you bleed. No insult, no betrayal, just silence when it counts. And that silence, it cuts deeper than words ever could. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." But what do we call someone who sees injustice, sees your pain, yet never lifts a hand? That's not loyalty. That's quiet abandonment. At Aurelius Insights, we speak not just to inform, but to awaken. So ask yourself, who stands with you only when it's easy? Who watches your struggle like a bystander in a fire? That kind of person isn't neutral. They're a shadow, disguised as a wall. And for those of us seeking strength, seeking peace, seeking clarity, we must learn to let go of these silent cowards. Let their absence echo, and in that silence, build yourself. If this resonated with you, don't forget to like, comment where in the world you're watching from, and subscribe to Aurelius Insights, because the truth isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quietly waiting to be heard.